Why is this always off?
Can they hear us now?
Yeah, they can hear us
Okay.
now, man.
Wow.
Jeepers creepers. Sorry about that, y'all.
Okay, so
We just y'all know who we are. Meme Knowledge. Y'all didn't hear nothing we just said. We just been talking to ourselves for the last 15 minutes.
and it was good.
It was good. It was good. We're gonna try to replicate that again. I apologize. Let's go back one more time. Start from the beginning. Start with the impeachment.
Okay, so as you guys know, or may not know, the Democratic Party has chosen, the Democratic House, I should say, has chosen to move forward with the impeachment of Donald Trump.
Okay.
So there's an impeachment inquiry in Congress going on right now. Now, when you're talking about impeachment, the House brings the charges, the Senate then starts their process of actually trying them.
Yeah.
Okay, so we tried the Senate, but the House is responsible for investigating and bringing the actual indictment, because impeachment is the indictment. Okay. Now, the reason that they're doing this is because they have reason to believe that Donald Trump broke the law or may have done something corrupt concerning a phone call to the Ukrainian president, Mr. Zelensky. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you in this phone call. I mean, it all started. I should just start at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
It all started when there was a whistleblower that had information from several sources claiming that the president had done something inappropriate in that phone call. In that phone call, he actually did three things that they considered inappropriate. Okay, so
We're gonna show you right
I'm
here.
going to show you right here. Number one, the initiated or continue. He asked Mr. Zelensky to initiate or continue an investigation into the activities of former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden, to assist in purportedly uncovering the allegations of Russian interference with the 2016 U.S. presidential election that originated in Ukraine, with a specific request that the Ukrainian leader locate and turn over servers used by the Democratic National Committee.
Wait. I got a question for you real quick. So, he asked the Ukrainian president to assist in uncovering that allegations of, to assist in purportedly uncovering the allegations of Russian interference.
Because
So
he had reason to believe that those rumors started in the Ukraine.
Oh, I got
So
it.
he said, we want to not only find the person that started the rumor,
Yeah, I got you.
but we want to find the servers that the DNC used with the cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. Okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
Because they initially reported that Russian hackers penetrated the DNC's network.
Which wasn't true.
Right.
They couldn't have done it. It had to be an insider. It was proven. It had to be somebody from the inside that gave the information, not somebody from the outside that hacked it.
Right.
Doesn't work.
And then also, Trump urged him to meet with two people the president explicitly named personal envoys, namely Rudy Giuliani,
Bitch ass Rudy Giuliani.
and Attorney General Barr.
Bitch ass Barr.
Right. So the president referred to them multiple times in tandem. He said they were going to be giving him a call. Okay. So we're going to talk about the first charge here. So they initiate the investigation of former Vice President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Okay. Okay. So Hunter Biden is on the board was on the board, right, of an energy company that was a corrupt energy company in Ukraine. He was making $50,000 a month to do God knows what. He doesn't have any experience in the industry. He's on the board simply because Joe Biden is his dad.
Yep.
When that company was being investigated, what the president is actually maintaining is that Joe Biden himself stepped in and tried to get the prosecutor that was on the case removed.
He did. He actually ended up getting it removed. Yes.
Yeah. So what he's saying is that is a corrupt practice. That's not that is something that's not illegal. It is corrupt. It's part of a corrupt system.
Yeah.
Right.
But can I say this real quick? The thing that's funny about that is that if you think about it from a moral standpoint, it's not really bad, right? Like, if you're just trying to get, and I'm not saying this about Trump. I'm not giving Trump the benefit of the doubt at all, because he picks and chooses when he wants to get to the bottom of something, right?
Right.
You know, so that's not. I'm just saying though. On the surface, on its face, how can that be construed as anything less than just? If all I'm trying to do, like Joe Biden is running for president, don't the American people deserve to know what type of person, you know what I'm saying? The same way that he did with Hillary Clinton, the same way people are trying to do with Donald Trump, they want him to show his tax. Like, so if somebody came to the DNC and was like, boom, we have Trump's taxes. You know what I'm saying? And it was legal to release it, let's say, right? Because I think it's illegal for them. They can't. I don't think they can put it out. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But let's just say it's illegal to put it out, right?
Well, they gave it to Nancy Pelosi to refuse to look at it.
There you go. So it's not illegal to put them. It's not illegal to put them out. But they gave them to Nancy Pelosi. She didn't want to put them out. But I'm saying that if somebody came to them and they did, I'm saying in that particular case, like that's not wrong, right? Like if somebody was like looked at the taxes and was like, we should investigate Donald Trump and tried to get him investigated.
Right.
I don't care who it was. I don't care if it was freaking Russia that asked for the investigation. I don't care what country asked for the investigation. If there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I'm saying? So let's investigate. I don't like just the human part of me, not the political aspect of this at all. Just the like right and wrong checks and balances part of me. You know, the pragmatic part of my brain is like, what? So what?
Right, and this wouldn't be a problem for anyone except Joe Biden. Because what is Joe Biden running on? He's running on being the anti-Trump.
Yes.
He's running on restoring dignity to the office.
Yes.
If he's doing the same corrupt,
how can we
legal but corrupt, you're looking for loopholes and stuff like that, how can we expect you to restore the dignity or be who you say you are?
I don't even think it was legal because the story that I read said that before all of this happened, they had a meeting. Hunter, that's how he ended up on the board. He had a meeting with these people, and he basically, for all intents and purposes, he told the people in the meeting, you do X, Y, and Z. My dad's gonna be the vice president. This is before he was vice president, though. My dad's gonna be the vice president. Don't trip, we got you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Now, what may have been illegal about it is that Joe Biden did the same thing that they're accusing Trump of right now, which is withholding aid of up to $1 billion of aid to the Ukraine until they actually complied with getting rid of the prosecutor.
Gotcha.
That's the illegal part of it. So now, like I said, Joe Biden is running on a platform of I am going to restore the dignity of the office. So, the soul of the country is up for grabs right now.
I got a question. So if Trump would have not withheld the money and just asked the president to investigate that, would that be wrong?
Well, you're not allowed to do that. You can't ask people from another country
to
investigate a candidate for president that one of your political opponents.
But he's not investigating the president per se.
No, he's investigating Vice President Joseph Biden and his son.
Okay.
That's what he wanted. So you can't do that. Hillary Clinton did the same thing.
Yes.
And that's why he's calling her crook the whole time.
So don't ask to investigate Joe Biden. Just ask to investigate Hunter Biden.
Absolutely. He could have done that.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just feel like that's how stupid.
Could have done that.
All I'm trying to do is point out how dumb Trump is. That was all I was trying to get to. Was like because I just feel like it's he could have done it in a different way and not have gotten into any of this trouble and got the same results.
The thing is about Trump, he tries to look like a mobster bully. So he holds back the aid. And he didn't have to do all that. Zelensky is on Trump's nuts.
That's what I'm saying. If you read the transcript, Zelensky is cool with Trump like a motherfucker.
Cool. He used the same language as Trump. He gets his whole game from Trump. He's like that guy. He loves Trump. So he didn't have to do that. But he's doing that because he wants to seem like he likes that feeling. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know if I think that's just how he operates. Because he is a crook, and he is a criminal, and his daddy was a criminal, and his granddaddy was a criminal. And he uses
whatever leverage he can get naturally in order to get what he wants.
Absolutely.
Even though he didn't even have to use the leverage.
He didn't even have to use it. That's what I'm saying. I feel like he could have just asked him, hey, you know that $50,000 a month that Hunter Biden was getting for being on the board of that Ukrainian energy company? I think you guys should look into that.
It's not even about him making the money. It's just the $50,000 is like he's getting well paid to be on this board. He doesn't do anything.
And what did he do?
But the company itself was proven.
Yeah, it was proven to be
corrupt. So even if you didn't mention what Hunter's getting paid, investigate the corruption. You know. So now what we're doing? Let's look at number two because number two is also very important.
Gotcha.
Assist in purportedly recovering allegations of Russian interference. So he's basically now on a hunt for the people that tried to get him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Destroy your folks. You know? I want Russia. I want the servers. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground. He wants all that. Right. So he's very, you know, this is his vindictiveness over the Russiagate scandal. And then number three.
I would be pissed over Russiagate too, though, because it was a lie.
Number three also is a cause for concern. Okay, it says meet to speak with Giuliani and Attorney General Barr. So, okay, Attorney General Barr, he's somebody that was put into action by, you know, nominated by Trump, and the people voted, you know, Congress voted him in, right? Mm-hmm. But who the hell is Mr. Giuliani? He is Trump's personal lawyer.
Yeah.
He doesn't, the president cannot give him authority to do anything.
Government
related. Anything government related. He is not a government official. He has not been vetted and voted on by Congress. And so doing that is another form of corruption. Do you understand what I'm saying? But because one thing you got to understand about impeachment, it doesn't have to be a crime. You don't have to commit a crime to get impeached. If you just said, you know what, fuck, I hate being president, I'm gonna walk off, they can impeach you.
Case in point, they impeached Bill Clinton, and he didn't do anything.
Right. He didn't break any laws.
He didn't break any laws.
It was just something that was corrupt.
He got handed Oval Office.
He was the original Me Too.
Yeah. No, he wasn't the original.
No. He was one of
he's not even close. That's Me Too been happening forever.
Right.
Since the beginning of time, that shit's been happening.
Without repercussion. This is like
true.
Is like
repercussion. So also just to kind of like put it in a box too, like we were talking about before, so a lot of people don't understand what impeachment means because people throw out that word and they think impeachment means like if he's impeached, then he's gone. But they can impeach him and he could still end up staying in office like Bill Clinton was impeached, Andrew Jackson was impeached, which I didn't know until today. I didn't know Andrew Jackson was impeached. I did know Bill Clinton.
It wasn't Andrew Jackson, it was Johnson.
No, it was Andrew Jackson.
No, Andrew Johnson.
Nah, man, it was Andrew Jackson.
No, the dude that replaced Abraham Lincoln.
No, it was Andrew Jackson.
No, Andrew Johnson.
Let's see. I'm sorry.
You guys, comment section. Who got impeached? Y'all know this already.
I think it was Andrew Jackson, but let's see. Andrew Jackson impeachment. So
results for Andrew Johnson impeachment.
Andrew Johnson was impeached.
Andrew Johnson was impeachment. Okay. So Andrew Johnson was impeached.
All right. Yeah. I stand correct.
Yeah, and impeachment is more of historically more of a sign of the times than necessarily political or corruption from the president. The president is almost all the presidents are corrupt.
Yeah, you have to.
Almost you can impeach every president really, but when think about it, when Andrew Johnson was president, he was president after the Civil War, after they just blew Lincoln's brains out. He was, you know what I mean? Uh-huh. The country was very divided during the Reconstruction period, and because of that divide, they came after. You know why they came after Andrew Johnson?
No,
because he fired the what was called the Secretary of War back then, basically Secretary of Defense for today. Mm-hmm. He fired him, and they said he didn't have the right to do that because it was Lincoln's appointee. And he was replacing Lincoln.
Imagine that.
And
imagine that being the case right now.
Like, and that's all it took. You could, that's all it took. Because, but it's mostly because the country was very divided, and some people wanted him out of there. Enough people to impeach.
Yeah.
Now, when Clinton was impeached, the country was very, very divided. Yeah. It was Clinton and his people in the Democratic Party, and Newt Gingrich. And Newt Gingrich was one of the precursors to the Tea Party. Type of movement.
Was the country divided, or was the government divided?
I think it was the
I think more the government was divided.
But it was more of the beginning of, you know how the Republicans, if you look at the 60s, and like a lot of Republican Democrats were rubbing elbows. That's why you have Joe Biden like, yeah, I want you guys. Yeah. Newt Gingrich was the one like, don't talk to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Newt Gingrich was the guy that started that like, deep Democrats are evil, and you know what I mean? And he really got the way that they're looking at it today. Mm-hmm. He's the one that started that divide on a congressional tip. Gotcha. He is the precursor. He's like the reason Mitch McConnell is the way he is. Mitch McConnell took after Newt Gingrich.
He gave him the playbook.
Right. So the country was very divided. So they looked for something petty, like a man getting his dick sucked at work.
Yep. No, and they're not petty. I mean, I believe not gonna say every. I don't think Nixon got no head from nobody. I don't think Nixon ever got his dick sucked by anybody his whole life. And that sucks to be him. That's just my guess. I'm not saying his wife. I'm not saying like a cheating anything. I'm just saying from anybody, right? A prostitute, anybody. But yeah, I think a lot of presidents were getting sloppy toppy in the Oval Office. I definitely know JFK was without a doubt, and his brother.
I just think somebody decided to tell.
Yeah, and they well no. Okay, so. All right. So the reason why that happened was they were investigating Bill Clinton for something completely different, because they were trying to impeach him. Right. That was the whole point. They were trying to get him impeached.
Right. The division to the country.
For something else. And then in that process, they were like, "Oh, look at that! Look what we found!" And that's pretty much what they found. Like she wasn't gonna lie once they questioned her. Right. You know what I'm saying? She shouldn't have lied. She had no reason to lie.
I mean, yeah. So, go to jail, go to prison for lying about giving someone top.
Yeah. Whatever. I maybe and if she lies and she goes to jail, she would have ended up being persecuted twice, because this way she was persecuted once and she wasn't prosecuted. She ended up being persecuted and prosecuted if she lied.
It's too bad it was the 90s and not now, because she would have a reality TV show.
I know, man. She sucked his dick in the wrong decade for sure. Without
before her time.
She was before her time. Everybody would have felt bad for her, like they should have. Everybody would have came out and supported her. A lot of people would have rallied around her, but nope, she had to do it in '94. before things changed, 93 or 94.
Or she would have at least been Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. So with that being said, do you think that it is? Well, do you think Trump will be impeached? Do you think they'll complete the process?
I think so. Because I think that it's ego thing now at this point.
Okay.
And I think Pelosi's not gonna. She was so against it.
Yeah.
That now that she's jumping in on it and she's running this thing, that she has to go forward with it. Okay? But let's not forget, I just want to highlight the people that started this impeachment train. And because they were saying it when it wasn't popular, you know what I mean? And now it's coming to fruition. Maxine Waters.
Elizabeth Warren.
She was
screaming for impeachment.
What is the brother's name? Al Green, Congressman Al Green.
Okay.
Yeah, those people. They were with the crookedness off top. Of course, it was for Russiagate.
Yeah.
So.
Which he shouldn't have.
Which wasn't a reason to impeach Trump. To me, the whole thing with the Stormy Daniels thing, using campaign funds, that was enough right there.
That was enough. If you impeached Bill Clinton for getting his dick sucked in the Oval Office, how can you not impeach Donald Trump for using campaign funds to pay a hooker?
He paid her off. And then the attorney went to prison. He came back. He had all the evidence. He had the checks. He had receipts.
And Stormy corroborated the story. It wasn't like she was scared. She said his dick was lit. Like she came all the way out and spilled all the tea. He got in. That's Teflon Don for you, though. That's what I'm saying. So, also, do you think that if he is impeached by the Congress, do you think it'll actually go through to the Senate? Do you think he'll actually end up being removed?
Of course not.
Okay.
They don't have the numbers. There was a story that I saw today that came out and said that they had like maybe 30 Republicans in the Senate that want. Yeah, right. There's a difference between saying in a back room, yeah, what he did was wrong.
Yeah.
And when it's time to pull that lever,
no Republicans.
Maybe
one just to say to make it look like he has a conscience because he knows it's not going to happen anymore.
Not in the senators.
I don't see it happening either.
Because in the House of Representatives, there were a lot of Republicans in the House that didn't like Trump, and actually 6 of them have retired or have said after 2020 that they weren't going to run again because they didn't want to be down with the Trump White House.
Yeah.
Okay. Or they were actually ashamed of the Republican Party for their continued support of Trump, and they actually removed. Some of them left, some of them retired, and said they're not going to be running for a re-election. So
that's how corrupt Trump is. Trump scares away people that are very corrupt.
Well, a couple of those were Republicans that were, black Republicans that are in Congress. No, and they understand that a racist when they see one. They didn't want to be in a party that was run by someone they perceived as racist.
Then they should have. How could you ever be a part of the party to begin with? I don't want to hear that shit. Mitch McConnell's not a fucking racist.
Right.
Mitch McConnell, who laughed when people said, what's up with reparations for black people? What? Get out of here, niggas. I'm never giving you guys reparations.
He literally said that.
That shit's crazy. Like, nah, you can miss me with that story. That's not gonna fly. But so bottom line, Trump's not gonna get impeached. I mean, he might get impeached. I think it's gonna happen. But it's not gonna go through. And let's just play it out. So it's not gonna go through. They're basically, the Senate's gonna exonerate him, to, like, however you want, if you want to call it that. And then his approval rating will go up 10 or 15 points, like Clinton's did, and it's gonna give him fodder for the upcoming election.
So I don't think so. I think that if you're not going to add any votes to Trump. Trump got his base. They're going to vote for him. It's going to be maybe more of them will get off the couch that we're going to, you know what I mean? But you're not going to turn nobody that was saying impeach the bastard. Then he gets impeached. He doesn't get the votes in the Senate, and then they say, you know what? He was innocent. I'm not going to vote. I'm going to vote for him now. I'm not voting Democrat. You're not getting no independents that weren't going to vote for him in the beginning, saying, you know what? They're really coming after this dude. That's why I'm going to vote for him. I don't think you're going to add any votes for him.
No, I think you get. It's not. I think you get him to that, and that creates a distraction for him while he's stumping on this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I don't like. It gives him, like I said, it gives him fodder. It gives him something to throw around. You know what I mean? And distract. Now he don't have to talk about his policies all the time on the stump. He can go around and talk about that shit and how they failed miserably, and he gets a laugh in their face.
Well, this is them ultimately. If there's political motivation for it whatsoever, even though, because I think it's a bad political move, so I have a hard time seeing real political motivation behind it. Mm-hmm. But the major political motivation behind it has to be to protect their boy, Joe Biden. Yeah. So this is to distract from what Joe Biden was doing in this by putting the pressure on Trump, because Joe Biden is their establishment candidate with the best chance of winning. Kamala has faded, right? Buttigieg just not there yet. He's not, he might have to run again or something for, next time if he runs again, the establishment gonna really have his back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then Warren is somebody that they can get behind. They're like if we gotta have progressive, let's go with the faux progressive. Let's go with who can be turned.
The reason they don't like Warren is because they know that Warren in a head-to-head match probably won't beat Trump.
Right.
I think if they thought she really would beat Trump, I think they would be all in on her. They're not all in on her.
I think if anything comes out of this investigation at all, Biden can't beat Trump, and he should go ahead and drop out.
But we
know he won't.
I
think he should.
We think he can't beat Trump, right? Like you and I think that.
Not
a lot
like
of progressives think that. I don't know, man.
If Sleepy Joe turns into Crooked Joe, he's not beating Trump.
Fucking Crooked Joe, dude.
It's already a tough shot to beat Trump. But now he's gonna be, first you guys run Crooked Hillary, now you're running Crooked Joe.
He's gonna call him Crooked Joe regardless.
And because Joe Biden is running on his character, he doesn't have what? Okay, anybody that's a Joe Biden supporter over there, answer me this: what policies is Joe Biden running on that's going to make this country better? What policy?
They don't have any policy.
Because anybody that's voting for Joe Biden knows they're voting on Joe Biden's character.
Yes.
if you go into the general election and you win the primary, you go into the general election with that on your record and you look shady in any kind of way, you're not going to win. It's the reason we have Trump in the first place. It's the reason we have him in the one major reason.
Yeah, it's a reason. There wasn't one reason why Trump won. Trump is like autism. Like, for those who don't understand autism, I understand autism because I have a child that's autistic. But the way that I understand autism now is that autism is like a bunch of failures, like within the body or whatever, if you want to call it that. And that, like, not one thing makes you autistic, right? Like, if you're antisocial, you're not autistic. You could just be antisocial. You know what I'm saying? If you have behaviors, you could just have behaviors. That could be an isolated thing, right? But when all of those things come together, now you're autistic. Now you're on the spectrum.
Right.
That's what I look like. That's how I look at the race between Hillary Clinton and what's his name, Trump. Is that it was our system is so fucked up that it was like a failure on every major level, and then people were finally like, yeah, let's vote for this guy because he at least appears to be an outsider, which makes I don't understand how a billionaire would ever be considered an outsider. Like, ever. They're like just on the surface. Like, if you just understand anything about politics in America right now, how is a billionaire an outsider? Right. What is he on the outside of? The homeless shelter? Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I don't even understand that logic, but whatever. So when Trump won, he won because he said he was going to drain the swamp. He said he was going to give people Medicare for all. He said, and then that was a part of it. And then they turned and looked at the alternative and was like, oh, she's not promising us anything. She's not promising us any structural change. She's not saying she's going to do this. We already know her track record. That's the difference too with Trump at that time too, was they didn't have any. Even if people like us knew that Trump wasn't going to do shit that he said he was going to do other than build that wall.
Right.
I knew he was going to do. I mean, I knew he was going to push for that, and I knew he was going to do the tax cuts. I knew those two things for sure without a doubt. Everything else, I was like, he ain't going to do that. The war shit, I was 50-50 on. I was like, he doesn't seem hawkish, who knows? But it seems like he'd be persuaded to go on a war with somebody, whatever. Mm-hmm. But the thing about what he was running on was faux populism, right? So I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then they looked at Hillary Clinton, and she was not a populist at all. She was a centrist, a right-centered candidate, and people were like, "But we already know we're going to get if we vote for her." Oh, and we know her track record. She's not going to do anything. What did she do when she was a senator? What did she do when she was? What did she do when she was Secretary of State? What, you know what I'm saying?
What she do when she's the first lady?
When she was the first lady.
She called niggas super presidents.
Yeah, she didn't do nothing. She did nothing positive for us by and large. So her track record showed that she wasn't going to do anything.
Right.
And they voted for the person that it was like a mystery there, like he's an, and they justified.
What do you got to lose?
Yeah, what do you got to lose? I mean, white people, y'all can say that type of shit.
Right.
Black people, we knew what we had. We were like, nah, fuck that, nigga. No, we cool.
Yeah.
So, and that's how he got it. So I don't like to relegate his victory to like, he got in because of this. Well, no. He didn't. I used to think it was racism. That used to be the thing. That was my fallback. I was like, hey, America's racist. Of course they will vote for a racist part. Then I thought about it. I was like, but all presidents are racist.
But I'm saying it's the same thing. If you're going to combination of somebody with no policies, basically status quo candidate, telling the rich people nothing's going to change,
yep.
right? Combined with I'm running on my character, but then when you say you're running on your character and you don't have any policies or anything to distract or back up or to have any substance so people could just forget about it, you know what I mean? They're going to scrutinize your character.
Yeah, they're gonna look at your grade.
And now when they scrutinize it, they'd be like, well, what makes him any different than Trump? I might as well just not go. Look, it's not that you're going to get up and vote for Trump. It's that you're not going to get up.
Yes.
And that's the point.
And that's a vote for Trump.
And that's
for everybody who doesn't get up, that's a vote for Trump.
Trump is on the ropes. Trump is on the ropes. He's at a very low approval rating. Mm-hmm. Now, the only way that Trump is going to win is if he gets a chance to replicate what made him basically the miracle man of 2016, which was, his anti-immigration sentiment. Check. He can do that. He's still tightening up on that, right? His, that's why he doesn't want to go to war in Iran. He has to still be the anti-interventionist guy.
Yeah.
Bam. And On top of that, he's got to be better at getting away with the shit than the other person. And if you can check that box, and you don't have any policies to basically make him hold his feet to the fire during a debate, you're gonna get squashed.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna get squashed because when Trump starts really campaigning, wait till 2020 cracks off, and when the Democratic
convention is over.
Before the convention, no, when the primaries are happening, because that's gonna be stirring up popularity with certain candidates. Watch the rallies. His rallies are going to be the most televised thing, the biggest ratings and everything. He is going to turn back into a reality TV star on your ass, and he's going to, and that's what he's going to do. And if he has somebody to talk shit about, that bravado, that brashness, he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
That people love that, and they want to vote for that.
Trump funny as hell. Lil Duval said the other day, he said it's the funniest nigga. He said he's the funniest president ever. And man, I agree. Trump is a funny motherfucker, man. And I don't even know if he's like, half the time I be just laughing at the nigga, but when he does say funny shit, it be funny, man.
Right.
Like when he called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, that shit was funny.
Right.
That's a good ass fucking roast. Like he wrote, and that might be a reason too. Trump gets roasted a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like he's around comedians like a lot. You know what I mean? Like he knows how to shoot the, you know what I mean? Like he'll shoot the dozens with you, I think.
Right.
So
He's a New Yorker.
He a New Yorker, yeah. I'll roast that nigga.
I'll roast that nigga.
On
that
my
nigga.
life, I will roast that nigga Donald Trump.
Exactly,
nigga.
Tyrone. Some of them like him because he acts tough. He has that little, gang, like fake. I call it a fake mob boss swag.
Yeah.
That a lot of people from New York like to have. The ones with money like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, Frank Sinatra. Fake mob boss swag.
Shit, Frank was trill.
Frank was real. He was really connected.
Frank was my.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was actually connected. He's a billionaire.
Trump is connected. That's what I'm saying.
But he's not the boss.
But he ain't the boss. No. Trump is connected
boss.
though. He's the face.
Right.
He's the face
He's
for
the
sure.
face,
But
right.
he ain't the boss. So we gonna lay the impeachment talk.
What do you guys in the comments? What do you guys think? Should Trump get impeached? Or, should the Democrats just back it in? Personally, I got it before we move on.
Yes.
We're gonna move on, but I gotta bring this up. If they're doing this for political reasons, then they're really fucking up. Because what they really need to do is they're focused on the wrong thing, and that's gotta be a good segue into what we're talking about next, anyway, right? If they're doing this for political reasons, they're doing it for the wrong reasons. I mean, they should be doing it because they're doing their job. But if I was going to attack Trump politically, it wouldn't be through impeachment. You know what it would be through? It would be through this situation that he has going on with Iran. And because this situation that he's got on with Iran, he's handling it in a way that is unpopular with the people. And the Democratic Party is missing out on a great opportunity to stick it to him.
But see, that's the problem. We have to stop acting like we have an opposition party. We don't. They're on the same side.
Right.
They're not missing out.
But when it comes to war,
they're on the same side.
Right.
So why would the Democrats stand for war? The Democrats love war. They're warmongers.
Well, there are certain people in the Democratic Party that do not love war, and they're not even saying anything.
There are certain people.
Where are your Tulsi Gabbards? Where are the Tulsi Gabbards in the world on Iran?
I don't know. I haven't heard of it.
Where are the Tulsi Gabbards of the world? That's why I thought Tulsi Gabbard, she's trying to turn right-wing conservatives to Team Tulsi, and if she starts talking bad about what the president is doing with Iran, it's not going to help.
I think there are more people on the right, and right now today, maybe not more, equal. I think there are just as many people, politicians and constituents on the right that don't want to go to war with anybody else. I think like 85% of Americans don't want to be involved in any fucking wars right now.
Definitely.
So that's like everybody. Because if you can get 85% of Americans agree on anything, to me, that might as well be 100%.
That's consensus.
Yeah, that might as well be 100%.
And that segues right into this article by the Business Insider that I saw. Okay, it's the Business Insider, great little internet newspaper here. Okay.
Pull it up.
Yeah, let's look at that.
What's the article title?
Just 13% of Americans would support U.S. military action going to war over Saudi oil field attack. For those of you that don't know what happened, a couple of weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, right? The Saudi oil field was attacked by drones and bombs, and those drones and bombs destroyed 5% of the world's oil supply has been shut down. The Saudi economy on the verge of being crippled by this attack.
So who did it?
Yeah. Well, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah. I mean, now, I know Iran didn't do it.
Right. So the Houthi rebels of Yemen
took they took the
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Took credit for the attack.
Yeah.
But the United States and Saudi Arabia seem to know better. They say they call them bullshit. They said that Iran is actually the perpetrators of the attack. Since then, the United States has tightened sanctions on Iran and is actually in the process of sending troops to Saudi Arabia to protect Saudi oil fields.
So that sounds eerily familiar to what happened after 9/11 took place, right?
Right.
So after 9/11 took place, you know, somehow, some way, we ended up getting all 13 of the hijackers identifications within 7 minutes. And you had Muhammad Atta's, you know.
Yeah, you're watching the towers burn and they're showing the faces of Russian troops.
Yeah, it was crazy as shit. So, yeah, I don't understand. Never mind. So, they had all this information on these people that fast. And they said that, I think, 11 or 12 out of the 13 was from Jordan and one of them was from Saudi Arabia.
No, it was.
Oh, from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like 15 of the 20.
It was like the vast majority were from Saudi Arabia. A couple of them was from Jordan. You know, one from Egypt or something. One of them from Afghanistan. It was some random shit like that, right? None of them was from Iraq. Nobody was from Iraq.
Nobody from Afghanistan.
Nobody from Afghanistan. Like so, but yet and still, what two countries did we invade? Afghanistan and Iraq.
And now there are people in the military. Was it 2001? This year will be the first year there's people in the military in Afghanistan that were not alive when 9/11 happened. So that lets you know we are currently in what can be referred to as an endless war.
100 years war, man. It's just
right.
fucking crazy.
And the people are saying no more. So a new insider poll just found that 13% of respondents would back the U.S. military joining Saudi Arabia in a conflict. So that's only 13%. Okay? That means that people do not want our sons and daughters, men and women of the military, going over to defend oil fields in Saudi Arabia.
Fuck that oil.
Right. And that's how a lot of people feel. But guess what? Trump is sending troops over to Saudi Arabia to defend the oil fields. Come on, man. And so if I'm a Democratic strategist, politically, this is where I'm hitting you. This is what I'm taking to the people.
But once again, though, why would the Democratic Party, who is funded, but a great deal funded by the military-industrial complex, call out Trump for this?
They wouldn't, and this is why. This is the main reason why. Mm-hmm. Because they are funded by the military-industrial complex. But also, how relevant would Tulsi Gabbard become at that moment? Once the DNC acknowledges this is something that we're going to talk about, how important does Tulsi Gabbard's take on foreign policy become now?
A lot. I mean,
it becomes very important.
Yeah, most of the Democratic candidates that are running are atrocious on foreign policy.
That's right.
Tulsi is strong. Bernie is strong. Yang is a joke.
Yang is terrible.
Biden is a joke. Warren is a joke. Buttigieg is terrible.
Mostly because of their stances when you're talking about Israel-Palestine, which is the most important to me foreign policy conflict as far as conflicts are going.
Yeah.
That and Venezuela. Terrible take on Venezuela from Buttigieg.
And Bernie is even not that good to me on foreign policy because he even be calling Maduro a dictator and all that shit.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
How's a duly elected official?
I think a lot of that is where you begin to see pragmatism from Bernie.
Yeah.
He says it because
that
if he doesn't say it, he sees what happened to Tulsi for not saying it about.
He don't care that he don't care. But
right.
I don't like that he doesn't care.
But he stands up he spoke out on Kashmir.
Yep.
He's got a great take on Israel, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Yeah.
He's got a great take on the jailing of Lula.
Yeah.
And,
no, that's what I'm saying. Bernie gets it right. I just hate that when he plays that, like he plays that shit. I hate when he turns into a stereotypical politician.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I expect more of him, but I know he's playing politics. You know what I'm saying? At the same time. So, and I don't give him a pass when he does stupid shit like that.
Right.
It annoys the fuck out of me.
In the last debate, he was the only one they asked about Nicolas Maduro.
That was the only one, yeah.
Because they needed to hear him say, he's a dictator. He needed that. He knew
but
that.
He said that like 90 times though. He's already called him a dictator.
But they need to hear him say it again because if not, he's Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
And he's an apologist all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because he has to say. But they didn't ask any of the other candidates about that.
Yeah. Well, they already know. They told a lie. But so what else did you want to touch on this?
So 13% of Americans would support the military. So that means that's the weird. This article is written weird as fuck. It says only 13% would support. That means look, basically the big number is 87% would not support military action. Okay.
Yeah.
So that includes 6% saying that they should engage in air assaults only. 7% saying that we should provide complete military assistance. So that's the 13% right there. This same poll actually found that nearly 25% of Americans, 1/4 of Americans, agree that the U.S. should remove itself entirely from the affairs of the region and let Saudi Arabia handle the issue itself. It's like this: if I got a homeboy, right, and he's in the streets, he's getting in some beef over there, right? Doesn't really involve me. But when he comes through, I sell him straps. And then he comes, tries to drag me to the beef and be like, nah, I sold you the straps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, I sold you the straps. Go handle your beef.
I did my part, yeah.
Why did I sell you the straps if you ain't gonna handle your beef?
Yeah.
See, it's cool. It's cool when you wanna beat up on Yemeni refugees and you want to starve people out and refuse medicine to them and and do all these human rights abuses and go through raping and pillaging a tiny defenseless country.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get into it with a big dog,
yeah.
When you get into
Y'all
it
need help.
with a big, you want to accuse Iran, you need help now because if left unchecked, if just an Iran-Saudi Arabia war with no help.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a wrap very quickly for Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah,
very quickly.
Iran would kill. Iran would beat America if America tried to invade Iran. It would be a disaster for America. Like it would be terrible.
Right.
For America with no help from nobody. They don't need Russia. They don't need China.
No one would.
Like just Iran would beat America if America tried to invade Iran.
No one would suffer more than the citizens of Iran.
Yes.
The regular people, not the government officials. No one would suffer more than the people of Iran in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But Iran, there's no proof that Iran actually launched those drones and destroyed them. They're just blaming them for it. And this is because I believe Saudi Arabia understands that the tensions between the U.S. and Iran, right?
Yes.
But when you're putting sanctions on a country, like Iran is under some of the most harsh sanctions ever. Also, human rights violation in those sanctions, meaning the U.S. is refusing certain types of medicine from going into Iran, which is it's a war crime.
Mm-hmm.
That is a war crime. So that's President Trump, Mike Pompeo. They're war criminals.
Absolutely.
Okay, they're refusing medicine. They're oppressing the average Iranian citizens behind this, right? You jumped out of a deal that Iran was fully in compliance with, according to all international groups that investigate these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically tighten sanctions on them, but you're not telling them what you want.
Yeah.
If you want them to not develop nuclear weapons, they weren't developing nuclear weapons.
You won already.
So it was like this. Basically, they get out the deal. For the next 6 months, other countries were like, come on, you guys, just hold on. We'll talk them back into the deal. Whatever. Just let us work with them. Let us talk to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't chip. So they stopped. They didn't start right away producing nuclear weapons, right?
Yeah. Well, they still haven't.
Right. They haven't produced, but they started the nuclear program back up.
Yeah.
They started enriching weapons-grade uranium.
Yep.
6 months into it, they said, well, you know what? They announced it. Look, the deal's off. We're not in the deal anymore. We're going to start producing weapons-grade uranium.
Yep.
As soon as they start doing it, U.S. says, see, they're aggressive. Here's the aggression. Wait a minute, man.
They set the trap.
The aggression part is jumping out of a deal that you made with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the aggression part.
Also, it brings up what you were talking about. We were talking about earlier with Andrew Johnson, not Jackson, who got impeached for firing the then Secretary of Defense, because like they were saying that the other his predecessor had appointed that person, and that was wrong, ethically speaking, or whatever.
Right.
If he going to be impeached for that, I think Trump should be able to be impeached for putting America at risk by getting out of a deal that was made by his predecessor, Obama. You see what I'm saying? And then that made it, now Iran is a threat, quote unquote. I'm just saying, I'm making that up because Iran's not a threat. But I'm just saying, now Iran is a perceived threat. And if they and all you had to do was just stay in the deal, and they wouldn't be a threat. They wouldn't be creating nuclear weapons. They weren't creating nuclear weapons. It was proven. They let the UN in whenever they wanted to. They had them look around. They never found anything that to corroborate the story that they were creating nuclear weapons. So, yeah, to me that's impeachable too. I mean, like there's a million things that Trump is guilty of. You know what I'm saying? Ethically speaking. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like any of these things is anything that the Democratic Party wants to touch with a 10-foot pole, and this is one of them. With war, because they're just as dirty and they're just as corrupt, or more even.
And there's a lot of Democrats that are actually coming out blaming Iran the same way.
Yeah, they're towing the line. That's what I'm saying. They're all on the same. I'm sorry. It's like when you argue with a person and you say you always do this or do. People don't always do anything. You know what I'm saying? Not all the Democrats are towing the line, right? Obviously, there's some that are pushing back, and lower level ones, and there's some obscure congressperson from somewhere that's saying something again. I'm sure. But the party, the official stance is Iran is a threat. We have to disarm them. We got to send in the troops and blah 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 on both sides.
And I think a part of that also is the media, because if you stand up against something, they're all pushing the Iran.
Of course, yeah.
And if you stand up and say, "Look, that's not what's going on," they call you an apologist, like a Assad apologist.
They got a cold racket. They're apologists. They call
you don't want to go to war? You're un-American.
You're a Putin puppet.
Yeah, whatever.
It's always something.
And then there's certain sections and it's shame on the people, because there's certain sections of the population that when the media calls them that, then they will run with that. And right now, when you're running for president, sometimes you just don't. We found out a bad nickname can ruin your campaign.
Crooked Hillary.
A bad nickname can, you know what I mean?
Racist Biden.
Chameleon
Harris.
Yeah.
I called her Chameleon Harris, and I thought that was funny. But then they called her Camellia Harris or whatever, and I was like, that's way better. That's so bad. She got wrecked, man. She got wrecked by Tulsi though. She didn't get wrecked by that.
Yeah, that's terrible, huh?
But yeah, so all in all, bottom line is America isn't as dumb as a lot of people think, and we are sick of war, and we want to get out of war. And to anybody that any normal person, I mean, like I'm sorry, I want to have a sidebar real quick because I had an interesting discussion with one of my friends last night, and we were talking about capitalism. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there are like regular people that you and I would meet that probably would say like, yeah, Iran is a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like they're out there for sure. Regular people, not people that's getting paid by GE or getting paid by Halliburton or whoever, you know, big in the military industrial group. But and that shit blows my mind. Like I was talking to some other people one day and we were talking. I have a bet going on with two of my coworkers that if Bernie gets to run for president, if he gets past the DNC trying to cheat him and shit, and he gets to the head boss, he got to fight the head boss, which is Trump. Bernie will win, and so we bet, right? They said Trump's gonna beat Bernie. I said Bernie will win in a landslide. It's not even gonna be close. It'll be 20 points or more, and they bet me $100 a piece, right? Easy as bet, because it's a win-win for me. Because if he doesn't make it, then I don't lose anything, and if he makes it, I'm 100% for sure he's gonna demolish Trump. But one of the reasons why they gave for betting for placing the bet on Trump was they said nobody wants that stuff that Bernie's talking about. Like there's like normal, real people in the world that I don't like. It blows my mind. Like I was like, people don't want health care. People don't want to send their kids to college. People don't want to make a fair living wage. Like I was like, what people are you talking to? You know what I'm saying? I was like, you don't want health care? Then he even told me, he was like, no, I want health care. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about then? Like you want what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there are sects of people out there that think like that. There are sects of people out there that think like Iran is a threat or whatever, and they will tell you that shit. And these people are not real people to me. They are fucking they're like virtual simulations of people. Like they're not like you got to be really plugged in to be thinking like that. And but my friend, like I said, we were talking about capitalism, and I was telling him how evil capitalism was, of course. And he was like saying that like he was saying stuff like I don't think anybody deserves health care. I think that they should have to work for it and like stuff like that. And I was just like, this is a black dude, almost same age as me, like a year younger than me. We grew up in the same neighborhood. Hey man, it's really hard to overcome the brainwashing sometimes. I know it is, but we have to do it because when we do that shit to each other, like what Robert was just talking about, like when you allow the media to set the narrative, and then we buy into the narrative amongst each other, especially, it doesn't help. Like it really, really hurts us. I know you think you don't have any power because you're like, I'm just one person. What the fuck can I do? But you have tons of influence, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? And when you're in a group of people, because a lot of us have a groupthink kind of deal going on, and you spur people's emotions, right? Like you get them to think like you, or for whatever the case may be, and you get to talking that like Iran is bad, and or whatever, nobody wants that, and and people start going, yeah, I agree, like that's bad. If you could 40 or 50 people to, I'm not saying you get them to think like that, but you rally them, you get them hyped, right? Then they post that shit, and they get another 40 or 50 people, and you see what I'm saying? Like that means a lot. Like that really means a lot. It goes a long way, and that's how that's what the great the people who are winning these elections are. They call them grassroots, right? Like that's a part of grassroots. Like we're a part of the grassroots. So we need to stop that shit. We got to nip it in the bud, man. Like it's a real thing. I hate hearing people say stuff that is basically just parroting whatever is being said on mainstream media. Like right. That shit is depressing. It's like I'm just like, wow, dude. We're like still, especially when the person is like young. When you're not 70 years old. You know what I'm saying? When you're fucking 40 and under, 50 and under, and you're over here saying shit that's on MSNBC and Fox and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Shit's crazy, man.
Right, and because and I get it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have time to listen to alternative views sometimes. They don't have time to, they come home.
They shut your motherfucking mouth.
You want to know what's going on a little bit about the election. You flip on one of these cable news networks, a network TV.
Yep.
And it's just easy, and you relax.
Yep.
And then you know
it's
like,
entertainment.
It's
though.
like a robot chicken. They got your they got your eyes. They got you.
Hey man, that shit is entertainment. The news isn't they shouldn't. It's not the news. It's entertainment.
Right.
MSNBC is entertainment. I can't watch it, but I'm saying
the interviews are entertaining.
The interviews are entertaining.
And you know what to look for because they're saying the funniest shit.
Yep. The tickers are funny. Like not funny, but the tickers are like exciting and it creates like a certain like anxiety in you or something.
Right.
Like when you see the shit.
Like it was a woman talking on Fox News and she was talking against the war in Iran. They jumped on her. Like you just
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
She was just shark. She was just chum for the sharks after that. They just erased her.
Yeah.
And it was sad because if you were listening to what she was saying,
she made a lot of sense.
She was the damn truth.
Yeah.
And they don't like that.
No.
Nobody like, you know what I mean? So, but we don't have an agenda.
What? I have an agenda. I have a strong.
I'm saying
agenda.
our agenda. Okay, how about this? Our agenda is not money. And
no, I don't have that kind of.
And
agenda.
so you know
no.
when your agenda is money, that means you just believe whatever the money.
My
is.
agenda is to brainwash everybody into thinking for themselves. That's my agenda. My agenda is to y'all motherfuckers to for all of us to break free because it's hard. I know it's hard. It really is because I'm plugged into to some degree. I gotta be right.
You gotta be.
I gotta be. I'm on the internet. I'm on the phone. I talk to you. You on the phone. You on the internet. You play video games. You watch movies. I watch basketball. I know I'm plugged in. But I feel like I'm like Pinocchio. Like I can see the strings. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I cut most of them off, and I the ones that are on me still, I allow them to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm strong enough because I don't, you know.
Well, to me, it's like this. We're all going to take in information from all different places. You're going to take in propaganda. You're going to take in. It's unavoidable.
Yes.
This is America, and this is the way they make it. But what you have to have, what you're responsible for as a human, is having a process. Is having a process for. For processing information. You have to process information correctly.
Vet.
Or just have a system. And always that system always has to come under scrutiny.
Yes.
So you have to be continuously, tweaking your system. I used to be, like with the media, I would be like, oh, they said I came up as a kid, like, oh yeah, you see something on TV, Fox, CNN, you're like, okay, yeah, you think you're really serious about politics again. And what I learned is, to be skeptical. Just be skeptical. I don't care where it comes from. Reject it, and then look at evidence. Reject it first. Not even that, or just be neutral. Just be like, you know what? I don't know.
I don't reject. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just be like, you know what? I don't know. But and then weigh the evidence.
You definitely should do. I mean, I think that's a good way of doing it too. But like for me, like when I hear stuff, my ability to discern things like is pretty, it's decent. So I can accept or reject something off the bat, but I'm always open to, all right, now let's get to the bottom of it though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like just because I accept something doesn't mean that now I think like, boom, that's the truth. I'm ride and die. I'm a ride or die with that. Like no. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. Right now, because from whatever knowledge I have right now in my possession, this makes sense. Right. But now let's move forward and let's see. And then as I get more facts, and it's like, oh, because there's shit that I was saying 6 months ago that I'm like, I laugh at myself now, like that was like not
right.
Like you were not right about that.
There's a lot of serious things like, I know that on these type of things, I don't mind saying I'm wrong and changing my mind because I've changed my mind on humongous things before my life. I used to be in a cult.
Me
too. So I used to be in a damn cult, and I walked away from all that.
Mm-hmm.
And that take just swoosh, you have to switch everything, right? So I was in a cult, so I changed my mind on a whole bunch of shit. Then I was out of the cult, so I changed my mind from a whole bunch of other shit.
And if you're religious, just FYI, if you are in any religious, if you identify as with any particular religious group, you're in a cult too. Some cults are deeper than other ones, but you in a cult. I'm just letting you know right now, you're in a cult. Christianity is a cult. Islam is a cult. Hinduism they're all cults.
They just blew up.
They're just big ass cults.
So I mean, I used to think all kinds of different ways, and then, you
got smart. You got hit with you wised up, and you started adopting new shit.
I think I was always smart. I think the problem was in the process.
Yep.
My systems for processing information were flawed, and as those things began to change, my outlook began to change because the information changed. Not because the places I even got the information changed.
How you processed it.
How I processed the information when it came in changed. You can't stop the people from lying to you. You can't stop people from saying crazy things.
Yep.
You can't stop pseudoscience. You can't stop that. It's a wave. It's gonna hit you wave after wave. You have to process the information and then make decisions. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And no one's gonna be 100%. It's
No.
just that you hope you get closer to. You working closer to it.
The truth.
So, right, you're working closer to the truth.
Truths. There's millions of truths.
That's true.
But yeah. So you got anything else you want to add?
Well, you guys, if you guys want to check out a good video to check out is look at Bernie's rally in the Greensboro church. There, okay.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike.
Real quick. We didn't talk about this, but I mentioned it in the thing, and I didn't want to talk about it. So Bernie is slipping in the polls, right? According to some of the new polls. Sorry, we're gonna go into this real quick because I find it interesting. Now, I don't know if you guys been paying attention. I'm not really heavy on the poll guy. I'm not a stripper, but I do find some of these polls to be interesting. I just think it's funny to me, and like I was telling you before, I think that before I believe a poll, what I would lean on would be what I'm going to lean on is going to be more like individual donations, like who's getting the most money from people, because I know that those people will come out and vote. You know, so even if Biden is leading in the polls, I'm not sure if all those people are going to come out and vote for him. You know what I'm saying? Like just because they asked the question, who would you vote for? And they say, oh, I'm voting for Biden. Yeah, I'm going to vote for Biden. Okay, cool. But are you actually going to get up and vote? You see what I'm saying? Like when we talked to my man Tyrone about YouTube, and he would make the point. The difference between YouTube and Facebook is, if you got 1,000 people on YouTube that's following you, they really fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Like they're way more invested, right? Like, because YouTube it's a different type of platform. I got 5,000 friends on Facebook. Nobody cares. You know, maybe 10 of them care, right? But on YouTube, you got 1,000 people following you. 200-300 people probably really rock with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot. You know, that's a big percentage compared to 1% or whatever on Facebook. That's how I look at these polls with like right now. I'm like, okay, so you know, 1 million people say they're going to vote for Biden, or they would vote for Biden. And then when the election actually starts, who's going to actually get up and vote for him? How many people are actually going to mobilize, take off time from work, make sure their kids are at the babysit? You know what I'm saying? Like who's really going to do that? I don't think 50%. I think it's like going to be like 10% of those people are going to get up and vote for him. Whereas Bernie, maybe not 1 million are saying they're going to vote for him. Maybe 150,000 are saying they're going to vote for him. But 150,000 people are going to get the fuck up and go to the polls. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the difference. It's quality over quantity of voters. But with that being said, in this newest poll, there's a lot of them. So the Quinnipiac poll has, let's go to it. I don't know if So the Quinnipiac poll has Elizabeth Warren at 27%, and Biden at 25%. Bernie way down there at 16%. These are national polls, by the way. This one isn't for a state. Down here, things have changed dramatically. California, I don't believe this, but in the last election, Hillary won California as well. So maybe this is true. But Californians, man, you guys need to go out there, register, make sure you switch to a Democrat if you aren't a Democrat. Like I'm part of the party, or I'm independent, either one most of the time. I've been a registered Democrat since 2015 when Bernie ran, because I knew I had to register as a Democrat to vote for Bernie. So I did that. And as soon as this election is over, if it don't go my way, I'll switch it right back, and I'll be an independent, or I'll be whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'll be part of the freaking Socialist Party. Who the fuck knows?
Right. The Democratic Socialist Party is the party of Cornel West. So
yeah.
You
yeah,
can't go wrong with that party.
I might rock with that.
Right.
But yeah. So if you look at this, it's just these polls. take what you want from them. I mean, like I said, I don't sit up and read polls. Usually, I get the polls from my friends who watch mainstream media, and mainstream media is in love with the polls, which should tell you something about the polls right there. But mainstream media, like, that's all they go off of. It's the polls, the polls, the polls, because the polls are skewed. They skew the polls so that they can go on mainstream media and justify what they're saying about the candidates. Oh, Biden's slipping, or oh, Warren is surging, or whatever the case may be. But they control the polls. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's not a true poll. It's not just like they literally just went out and asked 1,000 random Democratic voters, hey, of all demographics, 18 to 25, 26 to 38, 39 to 60, like, they don't do that. They get certain age groups, they omit certain age groups, they don't get enough of certain age groups, they don't get enough of this demographic or that demographic, they don't ask enough black people, they don't ask enough white people, they ask all the black people in the South, right? Because they want to prop up Biden.
Right.
But they don't ask all the black people in California. They don't ask all the black people in New Hampshire. They don't ask all, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, the 8 black people that live in New Hampshire. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing that's kind of unique with South Carolina, with their black population has actually really done a lot to sway local and state elections in South Carolina.
Okay.
So it's the black electorate is very, very important in South Carolina.
Oh, absolutely.
It's basically it is the swing demographic.
Right? And I said this. I haven't said this on the show yet, but I've said this in private to my wife, and a couple other people. If Bernie loses, I'm gonna specifically blame black people. Because we are fucking up right now. Like it's gonna be. I mean, it's a democratic race, and black people are out here shitting on Bernie Sanders. Y'all letting these ADOS motherfuckers tell you. Like, I literally got into it with somebody last night, calling Bernie an oppressor, and then I asked them to explain to me how Bernie is an oppressor.
And they blocked you.
And no, they just didn't respond.
Oh, okay.
They were responding that whole time, and I was just like, well, how's he an oppressor? And then they just didn't respond. So I guess they either thought my question was that stupid, which I didn't feel like it was that stupid, or they didn't really have a response. And I already know what their response would have been, because I don't know if you guys saw this, but I'm gonna show this. I want to show this clip of guy. There's this guy who was this black dude that was saying he won't vote for Bernie. Won't vote for Bernie. Let me see if I can find this. And here's here is the thing. Oh man, I don't know how to look it up.
Where did you see the video?
I saw it on Instagram. So maybe if I go to my Instagram, let's see.
Is this the guy?
Yeah, that's the guy. Okay.
So, black people not voting for Biden, straight up. I mean, not voting for Bernie and actually preferring Biden. It's because black people don't watch the debates.
You think that's why?
Well, I don't know how many times the guy can say. He says black people can't raise their kids. You need to leave the record player on for them at night so they can learn words. He says that you black kids can do everything. You say you poor kids can do everything that white kids can do. So, he thinks that black kids are poor generally. Which, I mean, of course there are a lot, but we don't need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
the connotation. It's your Freudian slips are showing what you think about the black community.
Absolutely.
What has, I mean, anybody that's a Biden supporter, I don't know. I never run in, they never show their face.
I don't talk to a lot of 65-year-olds.
Right. But one thing, I've put this on my page a lot of different times. Why vote for Joe Biden? What has Joe Biden done for black people? What has Joe Biden just done, period? What does a vice president do? All that shit. No one has ever given me a real, true critique like this is why I'm voting for Joe Biden. So I'm assuming that the reason that black people are voting for Joe Biden is because they think that they're supporting Obama by voting for Joe Biden. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But did Obama come out and endorse Joe Biden? Something, did I miss something? Do you think Obama is going to go vote for Joe Biden?
I mean, he's not supporting him right now.
Do you honestly think Barack Obama is going to vote for Joe Biden?
Yes.
I do not.
In the primary?
I think that Barack Obama knows Joe Biden is not the guy. Is not that guy. He tried to convince Joe Biden not to run for president.
Yeah, I agree. I know that.
Why do you think that was?
Because he knew Joe Biden
is halfway senile.
Slipping into senility.
Right. Like, you don't got to do this. We got other neoliberals.
No worry, brother. We got you. Don't worry about it.
Come on, man. He's like, he's like if Jordan said he got tired of losing and he said he was going to suit up for the Charlotte Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a bunch of people calling him saying, look, come on, man. Nah, man. I don't know. Just hold on. We'll get some draft picks.
Yeah.
Something, man.
We'll piece it together. Don't worry about it.
We'll figure it out. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do that. You know? But he does it anyway, and it just totally destroys everything you thought about Jordan. You know? You just see what did I see somebody say? Young people talking to older people about Joe Biden or something like that. Like, it's like, this is your king. That's what it was.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
King, man, come on, man. There's no good reason to vote for Joe Biden.
There isn't.
There's zero. There's not anything you're gonna get from Joe Biden you can't get from other candidates. There's nothing that sets him apart. Like, oh yeah, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's the only one that will blank.
He will fuck you.
Joe Biden's the only president that will be stupider than George W. Bush.
That's a tough one.
He's gonna have a highlight reel similar to George W.'s.
He ain't gonna have to dodge them two shoes. He ain't gonna say. I could see Joe Biden saying, "Fool me one time, shame on me. Fool me once, can't fool me again."
Can't get fooled again.
Oh, that guy. I can't find the damn video, man. I've been looking for this video. I wanted to show y'all this shit. But anyways, it was this black dude. It was at a Bernie town hall, and the brother said that he can't vote for Bernie because Bernie voted for the crime bill and Bernie isn't for reparations. Okay, so one of those I could basically debunk or swat down instantly. So Bernie is an elected official, right, of Vermont. So Bernie got on the Senate floor, argued against the crime bill, against Joe Biden who wrote the crime bill. He argued against it for, 30 minutes. Made a very compelling argument. The bill, before it got passed, they put some provisions in it, they revised it, and it had stuff in there that was like, something about like protecting like battered women. It was the Violence Against Women's Act. Yeah, it was the Violence Against Women's Act, which was a really good part of the bill. The only good part of the bill, probably. And Bernie's constituents wanted him to vote on that. They wanted him to vote yes on that bill. He represents his people. We are used to politicians not doing the will of the people. Bernie actually listens to his people that he represents in Vermont. And I'm not making an excuse for that. I'm just saying like that was a reality.
That's a real reason.
And that bill was getting passed regardless.
Right. But I mean, you see, because the whole thing is this: you can even go on YouTube and you'll see the debate. Joe Biden on one side talking about how we need to be tough on crime and stuff, all the stuff that you didn't like about that bill, crime bill, and then you'll hear Bernie Sanders coming against all of those things, and then saying at the end, that being said, I'm going to vote for the bill because it's got the
X, Y, and Z.
It's got the Violence Against Women's Act in it, and I want to make sure that gets that passes.
Yeah.
He lets you know. First, he speaks totally against the bill.
Yeah.
Then he says, "I'm gonna vote for it though because."
Yeah.
He went directly on the record, and he doesn't have to hide. See, that's the thing. Usually, when people vote on some shit you don't like, they hide behind it.
Yeah.
You bring up Joe Biden's crime bill. Joe Biden hides from that.
Mm-hmm.
He hides from that, and the results of that. Bernie Sanders faces that down because he's got the receipts. You can go back to the actual debate that he had on the congressional floor and what was said. So that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Bam.
And then the other part about what he was saying was he's not for reparations, right? I mean, I personally think that Bernie fucked up by saying that he's not for reparations. I've been on record saying that several times. I think he should have said that he was for it, but he should have just told the truth and just said, I'm for it, but in all honesty, right now it's too divisive. If I fight for I have to basically make a choice. I don't think that reparations is going to be so hard to pass that I don't think that I would be able to fight for reparations and fight for all the systemic change that we need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we need systemic change, just like black people deserve reparations.
Right.
You know, I think he could have made that argument, and if you still felt some type of way about it, then so be. You just want to be mad. You know what I'm saying? But when he said that he's not for it, that gave black people, the ADOS movement type people, that gave them what they needed. Oh, see, he ain't for reparations. You know what I'm saying?
And the funny thing is, though, about the ADOS movement is they can't decide. What politically, where are you guys? What is the ADOS what is your political endorsement?
You don't have one.
You don't have one. You don't have one. What is your movement gonna do? Is it a political movement? You know what I mean? Is it a special interest group? What is your strategy? You know, you got all these demands. What is your strategy? How are you gonna get any of this stuff done?
They're not.
You know, do you just want to be talking heads on the internet?
Seems like it.
All what? Maybe, honestly, probably about serious members. Probably about 10,000. Y'all serious, right?
Yeah.
I give you 10,000 serious. But what does that mean? Like, you guys detach yourselves from every single thing that was already in place in the push for reparations.
Like what?
Other groups that were fighting for reparations.
Mm-hmm.
International, you know what I mean? International groups that are fighting for reparations. You push yourself away from, you know, workers' parties. You carry anti-immigrant sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
The international fight against white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you cut off the communication lines necessary to bring down global pillars of white supremacy and strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're supporting capitalist economic systems which are the main reason that we're in the situation that we are, the people right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really support poor people. You don't support black people for real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got black people. You're a group of black people, but you guys aren't pro-black.
They're only pro-black, like specific groups of people.
Right. And so I don't understand, you know, because they're not running around asking Africans if they're ADOS.
Yeah.
Well, before they, you know, discriminate against them.
I'm gonna find this video. I'm gonna post it, and y'all gonna see. But it's crazy. But like I said, if it doesn't happen, I mean, a part of me, and it's not me being bitter or anything like that. I'm just being honestly. It's gonna be on us. It's gonna be on black people. We gotta swing the vote. It's gonna be on us, man. It's gonna be on us.
Yeah, it's our fault if Bernie doesn't win the Democrat nomination, and
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be our fault for sure, without a doubt. Because if you look at it right now, there's no fucking way Biden should be leading in South Carolina.
By as much as he's leading by.
Period. There shouldn't be that many black people voting for Joe Biden.
Biden's slipping. Biden's gonna continue to slip.
Not enough. I need him way lower than that. But
it's a long way between now and February. A lot of chances.
A lot of gaffes, a lot more gaffes, a lot more corn pops on the way.
But he didn't gaff when he said you need to turn that damn record player
Nah,
for your kids. He didn't gaff when he said he wants social workers and everybody home because you don't know how to raise your damn kids.
That was crazy.
He's taking Big Mama's position on you and how you raise your kids, basically.
How could you? I don't know.
He might as well have been like, ran up to your kid and say, why that baby head ain't combed?
Huh?
Why that baby head ain't combed?
Why you got that baby out here with that little jacket on? Go get that baby a jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That baby look like he ain't ate in a week.
Comb that baby hair. You got him with them dreadlocks. They looking scary.
Right.
That shit fucked up. But alright, y'all, we about to get up out of here. Great show tonight.
Hit the like, subscribe.
Y'all know what to do.
Get the notification bell and look out for more from us. Also, yeah, we'll get it right with the sound and the video.
It was right, man. It was my fault. It's always my fault when the sound and shit is right. I just gotta go. I gotta create like a checklist and like put it on here, like check the sound, check this out, check the camera, and then let's go.
Yep.
But